Hello, second grade. It is Miss Smith, and I am back here to help you with day 2 on our packet for week 3. So yesterday, we learned the definitions of the vocabulary words together, so you should have those written and your example sentences using the words and your picture. You should have also had a chance to look at the first page of your story and answer the questions for number 1, so you can kind of start thinking about what we're going to read in this story. And hopefully you also had a chance to check out the Britannic Wreck Dive. That video is really cool. It's going to help us to understand our story better today. So before we begin today, you should have had a chance to practice some vocabulary on your own. There are picture examples in your book, and you complete the sentences on a couple of pages. So make sure you've done that. We're going to review our vocabulary together before we begin to read. Before we start that, I did want to remind you that I have 2 second grade groups because there are so many of you in second grade. And some of you have a circle book, and some of you have a book that has a square and diamond at the bottom. So I'm going to read from both of these books today. I will read from Circle Group first, but before we do any reading, let's look at our vocabulary together, and then I will let you know when it's time to start reading, and Circle Group can read with me first, and the Diamond Group can fast forward to when it's time for their book in this video. Okay? So everyone stick with me for now. We're going to review our vocabulary words together quickly. These will help us to understand our story. So we'll be looking and listening for these words throughout our time together today. The first word is communicate. And communicate means to make someone know or understand something. The next word is tasks. Tasks are jobs or pieces of work that someone has to do. Diver is a person who swims deep underwater for a long time. An expert is someone who knows a lot about something. Gear. Gear are the tools, clothes, or other things that you need to do a certain job or activity. And experienced. Experienced means someone who knows a lot about something from doing it many times. All right, so all of these words are important to our story today. I also wanted to show you that in your book, at the top of the first page, it says expository text. Expository text means this is non-fiction, it is real. Another word for expository text is informational text. Okay. It says an informational text is a non-fiction text that teaches the reader facts about a topic. So the author wrote this not to make us laugh, and it's not a fiction story. These things are real. And they wrote it so that we could learn about dive teams. So we're going to learn some facts that are true and real today when we read together. All right, so if you are in the circle group, we're going to read first. If you are in the square or diamond book group, you can fast forward. And when you see me hold this up, again, push play because it will be time to listen to your group story. They're the same stories, but just a little different. All right, so circle group, go ahead and get your book ready. We are on page 32. It looks like this. 32. Okay. As we read today, we're going to find out why teamwork is so important if you're on a dive team. And we're going to read about a team of divers who explore a sunken ship. So this might be like the video that you watched on the playlist. Okay, let's see what happens. Imagine exploring the ocean. That is what Gloria does. So the person in this picture, her name is Gloria. This gives me a clue that this is an informational or expository text because they did not paint a picture of Gloria. Someone took her picture with a real camera, and that's called a photograph. So a person who takes pictures with a real camera is called a photographer. And you will see lots of real photographs if it is an expository or informational text. Because remember, they're teaching us real things, so we have pictures of real things. Gloria always lived near the sea in California. She was interested in the ocean, so she became an expert diver. I love that sentence. It has two of our words, an expert diver. So that means she knows a lot about going deep underwater for a long time. She joined a dive team to find sunken ships. A sunken ship or shipwreck is a boat at the bottom of the sea. That's why I wanted you to watch about the Britannic wreck dive so you could see and just have an idea of what a shipwreck looks like at the bottom of the sea. Each job on a dive team is important. One job is to use machines the team needs. Another job is to fix the machines when they don't work. Gloria is a photographer. She takes photographs underwater. So that paragraph right there just told me about 3 jobs. It said one person's job is to use the machines. Another person's job is to fix those machines if they're not working correctly. And Gloria's job is to be the photographer and take pictures. So when they go underwater, it's not just one person doing all the jobs or all of the tasks. Everybody has their own special tasks they have to do to make this team work. All right. And I love this picture too because a caption are the words that are beside or under a picture in an expository text that teach you a little bit more about that picture. It says, Gloria and her team search for a sunken ship. That picture kind of shows you some of the gear that they're wearing under the water. It looks different than what I wear when I go swimming because this is a very special job. All right. Teamwork is important for a dive team. Team members share the tasks. Each person helps get the job done. So there's a vocabulary word, tasks. We just talked about how one person doesn't do everything. They need so many people because each person has their own task they have to do. Gloria's team learns about a shipwreck. The ship sank over 100 years ago. That's even before I was born. No one has found it. Oh! The team studies a map where they think the ship sank. So here's another clue. This is expository because they have a map and there's a caption under it. This is a map of the state of Florida. It says, this map shows the route the team takes to the shipwreck. Let's read some more. It says the captain takes the team by boat to their map location. The captain stays on the boat. He can still communicate with the divers. So if you look in the map, that star is where they started at. They got on the ship there, and this red dotted line shows where the captain took them out to the sea. So a captain is another important job on this team because it's his job to look at the map and drive the boat to where they need to go. And when they get there, he stays on the boat, but he's still able to communicate. So he's still able to get messages to his team even when they're under the water and let them know the things he needs to say to them to keep them safe. The divers prepare for their jobs before they dive. Gloria puts on her diving suit and gear. She makes sure her camera is ready. So this is a special job. She has to wear a diving suit. She has to have the tank with air. She has to have a mask. She needs flippers on her feet to help her swim. She needs her camera. She has a lot of things to do her job. That's all of her gear. I don't have all that when I come to school to do my job. But different jobs have different gear. The divers jump into the water. A team member turns on a flashlight. Now the divers can see where they are going. Ooh, that's an important job. What if you get all the way down in the deep, dark ocean and you can't see where you're going? You wouldn't be able to see what's on that ship. That's a good job. Finally, one team member sees the ship. Gloria takes pictures while her teammates measure the ship. So this is the first time anyone has seen this ship in over 100 years. So they're trying to get more information about it. So Gloria's taking pictures. Other people on her team are measuring to see how big the ship is. So these people also have important jobs. I really like this one. It says, another teammate watches for sharks. Ooh, that might be the most important job of all, don't you think? After an hour of exploring, the divers go back to the boat. They have important information to share. Gloria thinks, I will always remember this dive. It must have been pretty important for her to think that. So hopefully she learned lots of things. Imagine what you would see on a ship that sunk 100 years ago. They would have things on there that we don't use today because they are so old. Here is a picture. Maybe it's one that Gloria took. It says, the team thinks the ship sank near the Florida coast. All right. That is the end of our story today, and I love this one. I wish it kept going and we could learn more about what they saw down there. But this story was really all about how people work together on a team. So I would like for you to just think to yourself or talk about it out loud at home. Why was teamwork so important for these divers and for this team going in the ocean? And I want you to think about maybe some teams that you've been on before. Maybe you've been on a sports team or a chess team, or your classroom, your teacher has put you in groups to work together. That's still a team because everybody has their own tasks. Not just one person can do all the work. You have to share the tasks to get the job done. And that's what makes this story really special. So I'd like to leave you with those things to think about. Now before you go, let's review quickly the rest of your week. Tomorrow, you're going to read the story on your own, and you're going to look for the questions on day 3 and underline where you find your answers using those good text evidence skills I know you have. On day 4, it says use the graphic organizer stapled to this to write about the story. There are many jobs on the dive team. Find at least 4 to write about. You may read the story again and use it to help you with your answers. So, go back in the story. We talked about lots of jobs that people have on this dive team. Find at least 4 that you think are important and write those in the boxes on the paper. Okay? And on day 5, your favorite and mine, Field Trip Friday. Remember, I sent the link to your parents, and you've already been to 2 places. This time, pick a new place. Pick a 3rd place to go to. And after you explore by looking at the pictures and the videos and reading, the last page of your packet says Virtual Field Trip 3. So make sure you write and tell me, where did you go this week? What did you see? What did you learn? What did you like? And draw a picture on the back. All right, friends, I hope that the vocabulary and the story will help you to complete those other activities this week. If you have any problems or need help, just tell your parents to email me, and I will help you as much as I can. Remember, once you finish everything this week, that your parents need to sign the box every day, each day when you finish your work, and make sure they take a picture of every page in your packet. And when you have finished it all, and they've taken all those pictures, email them to me so that I can check your work for you, okay? All right, friends, if you are in the circle group, you are free to go. Have a great day. I am ready to talk with the Diamond Group. Diamond Group. Hopefully they have fast forward and they see me doing this and they know that is their signal to get their book ready. All right, I am here for the Diamond Group. Friends, our story is on page 376 in your book. Okay. All right, hopefully you were here for the beginning of our video where we reviewed our words: communicate, tasks, diver, expert, gear, and experienced. And I hope you got to listen to the part where I explained this is an informational text. That means it is nonfiction, it is real, and the author wrote it to teach us new facts about a topic. This week our topic is dive teams. So you see at the top where it says expository text, that's the same thing as informational text. We're going to learn some new things today. So if you have your book open to page 376, you took some notes yesterday to get your brain working and thinking about this story. Today we're going to read and see what really happens. Okay, so we're going to read why is teamwork so important, and we're going to find out how a team of divers work together to explore a sunken ship. So hopefully you had a chance to watch the Britannic Wreck Dive video that's on our playlist. It just shows you how deep they go under the water and some things that they might see when they get to the bottom of the ocean floor. Okay. It'll give you an idea about what this team sees when they do their job. All right, let's get started. Imagine exploring the underwater world of the ocean. Perhaps you want to see how sea animals live, or you may hope to search for sunken ships. That is just what Gloria did. So, this is a clue that tells me this is an expository text. This is a real picture of Gloria. She is one of the main people in our story today. Now, someone did not draw or paint a picture of Gloria. They took a picture of her with a real camera. People that take real pictures, these are called photographs. And the people that take photographs are called photographers. So in an expository text, you will see real photographs. Gloria has always lived close to the sea in California. She swam and surfed at an early age. She became interested in the ocean. So Gloria became an expert diver. She decided to join a dive team to find sunken ships. What would her job be? Wow. So that paragraph has two of our words, expert, diver. So that means she is very good and knows all about how to go deep down in the ocean. Wow, I am not an expert diver. That's not my job, but it's part of hers. So let's see what her job is on this dive team. Each job on a dive team is important. One serious job is using machines that the dive team needs. Another job is to repair or fix these devices when they don't work. Gloria is an experienced photographer, so she decides to photograph what the team discovers underwater. This paragraph just told me about 3 jobs that are on this team. So when they go down in the water, there's not just one person. There are many people, and not one person does all the work. They split it up, so each person has a different task. And I just heard that one person, it's their job to make the machines work. Like, it's their job to turn them on, and think about how important that is under the water. If you didn't have that, you may not be able to breathe. If your things aren't working correctly, that's an important job. Another job is a person has to fix or repair those machines in case they get broken. And Gloria's job is to be an experienced photographer. So that means she has done this job many times. So she's probably taken lots and lots of pictures. She's done it for a long time, so she's experienced. Maybe this is one of the pictures she took. A caption are the words that are usually beside or under a picture or a map in an expository text that tell you some more about it. It says, Gloria and her team search for the sunken ship. And I can see in that picture all of the gear they are wearing. I see them wearing masks, they have dive suits, they have flippers on their feet to help them swim. Need lots of gear. Teamwork is important for a dive team. Team members depend on one another. They divide up the tasks, and each person helps to get the job done. That's what we said. There's more than one person, and everyone has their own task or their own special job to do. If they didn't, this team may not work together so well. Gloria's team learns about a ship that sank over 100 years ago. No one has ever found it. Can you imagine? Just think about that. Over 100 years ago, there's probably things on this ship that maybe are very valuable, or things that we haven't even seen because they're so old and we don't use those things anymore. They decide to make a scientific study of it. The team reads information and studies a map where they think the ship sank. They are excited about their exploration. So if you see here, a lot of expository texts will have a map. This is a map of the state of Florida, and the caption under it says, "This map shows the route Gloria's team takes to the shipwreck." So they have to study where they think the ship sank so they can get to the right place and find it. The captain, another team member, takes them by boat to their map location. He stays on the boat where he can communicate with the divers. So his job is to follow the map and drive the boat. You can see on the map where there's a red star. That's where they started. They got, when they left land, and the red dot shows where they went out into the ocean. That was his job, was to follow the map and drive them to the right place. Now he has to stay on the boat. They're going to dive down into the water deep, but it's his job to stay up there and make sure the boat is safe and protected. But he can still communicate with them. So he can still get messages to them and let them know important things if he needs to. Before the team dives, they prepare for their special jobs. To get ready, Gloria puts on her diving suit and gear and makes sure her camera is ready to take photographs. So there's our word gear. We know divers have different gear than firefighters because they're going underwater. They also wear masks, but they're different kinds of masks. And they might also have oxygen tanks so they can breathe. But Gloria needs a dive suit, not a firefighter jacket. And she needs flippers to help her swim on her feet, not gloves. So different jobs need different kinds of gear. And she is responsible for making sure her camera is ready. Can you imagine if she got all the way to the bottom and her camera battery was dead? Oh, she'd miss all those great pictures. So she has an important job and she has to get ready for it before they even start that day. Now the divers jump into the water. As they swim deeper, it gets darker. A team member turns on a flashlight. This helps the divers see where they are going. That's an important job because what if they couldn't see? They would miss all the things on the ship. Finally, one team member spots the ship. He uses an aquatic microphone to talk to the team. How cool. So they can still communicate with each other because they have special microphones and they can hear each other. These microphones are made to talk under the water. I don't need that gear to do my job every day, but for this job you need that. It says Gloria takes pictures as teammates measure the ship. Another teammate watches for sharks and other dangers. Yikes. So even though somebody's job is to turn on the light or the flashlight, another person has to make sure that there are no sharks coming. That's a really important job. I don't think I'd go down there if that person wasn't at work that day. We need that person. But this just told about some other jobs. Some people are measuring the ship because it's been over 100 years and they don't know how big this ship even was when it sank. One person might be looking for things on the ship, and that's what Gloria's doing. She's taking pictures of the things they find down there. After an hour of exploring, the person with the flashlight leads the way back to the boat. The team now has important results from their discovery to share, and Gloria thinks, I will always remember this dive. So to me, that makes it sound like it was pretty special to her. She's always going to remember it. Wow, so I love this story and I wish it could keep going so that we could learn more about what they found on this shipwreck. But the whole purpose of this story, the reason the author wrote it, was to teach us about how people work together on a team. So I would like for you to think about, why is it so important that this team had to work together? And even if just one person was gone that day, think how different it would be. So they really have to count on each other to do their job. And I would also like for you to think about some teams that you've been on. Maybe you've been on a sports team or a chess team here at school or academic team, or maybe you've even been in a group in your classroom and your teacher told you to work together as a team. Those are also important because you learn how to do different tasks. And you learn that it's not just one person's job to do everything. You have to split it up, just like this team did. One person held a flashlight, one person fixed the machines, one person looked for sharks, one person took pictures. There were so many jobs in this book, or in this story. And all of the people had an important part on their team. So think about maybe some teams you've been a part of and what were the tasks you had to do for your team. All right, well that is the end of our story this week, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope hearing the story and the vocabulary words have helped you to understand it a little more. Let's look at the rest of the week together. Tomorrow, on day 3, it's your turn to read the story again on your own, and there are some questions. Make sure when you answer the questions that you go back in the story and you underline where you find your answers using those good text evidence skills we've practiced. And I wanted to tell you about day 4. This is a writing day. It says use the graphic organizer stapled to this to write about the story. There are many jobs on the dive team. Find at least 4 to write about. You may read the story again and use it to help you with your answers. So there are way more than 4, and if you find more than 4, you are welcome to write those. But I would like for you to find at least 4 and write what their job is and what do they do and why it's important on the next paper in your packet. And on day 5, you know it's my favorite day. It's Field Trip Friday. So you've gone here the last 2 Fridays, so hopefully your parents still have this link. You've been 2 places. Choose a different place this week. So now you will have gone to 3 field trips. And after you finish exploring the pictures and videos and reading all about it, find the last page in your packet. It says Virtual Field Trip 3. So these are all real places, so it's informational, right? You'll have lots of new information that you've learned that you can write and teach me. Okay, so don't forget some of maybe your favorite things that you learned. And after you write about it, draw a quick picture on the back. Once you have finished everything in the packet this week, make sure your parents sign each day. So when you finish the work for day 1, have them sign their name. So there should be 5 places your parents write their name. Have them take a picture, email this to me, and every page in your packet that you write on, all of these pages, have them take pictures of every page and email it to me on the last day, day 5 or Friday. And that way it helps me to see what you're learning, or if there's anything that I need to help you with. It helps me to see that you are continuing to work hard at home. And I know you are, and I am so proud of you, and I really hope we get to be together again soon. But don't worry, if we're not, I will continue to help you learning at home all that I can. All right, guys, I hope that you have a great week. If you have any questions, make sure your parents email me, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Bye-bye.